What is going on, guys? Jack Milton here, and today we're here with part 2 of the biggest mistakes I made when I started the gym. This one, we're going to focus on training mistakes. In the previous video we focused on nutritional mistakes, you know, what I did wrong with my foods, my macros. I didn't know what I was doing, and believe it or not, I didn't know what I was doing with my training either. Started out in the gym, didn't have a coach, was just taking my friend's word for everything. He actually had a fair bit of knowledge, but I wasn't really applying what he was telling me to my workouts, and yeah, it just ended up a bit of a mess. So let's go into it. So instead of 5 mistakes, I actually made 6 mistakes. I made many mistakes when I started the gym, but the first one was not following a program. So not following a workout program. I had no structure to my workouts. I didn't know what I was doing each time I entered the gym, and I didn't know what exercises, how many sets, how many reps. Everything was just all over the place. So this was probably the main mistake that I made. My workouts were very thrown together. I would just go in and be like, yeah, well, what are we doing today? Chest, let's do it. Come in the next day, what are we doing? Chest, let's do it. There was no routine to anything I was doing. I would do a chest press, then I would do a leg press, then I would superset, you know, a hyperextension with biceps. Like, what? I don't know what I was doing. If you're someone that's starting the gym, I would recommend getting a program or at least something to follow so that you can go into the gym knowing what you're doing every single day. If you want to buy one of my programs, buy one. Doing random sets and reps. Now, when I was talking about not following a program, I didn't have a structure to my workouts, didn't have a structure to the exercises that I was doing. Now within that, I was doing random sets and random amounts of reps. So again, I would go on to these exercises and just think, well, today I'm feeling maybe doing 12 to 15 reps. You know, I'm feeling a 6 to 10 reps on this. There was no consistency on it. I didn't really understand rep ranges, so I didn't understand how to progress within your rep ranges, you know, your weight and your reps. I didn't understand how to progress any of that. So I was basically doing the exact same thing with exercises. I was going in, picking random exercises, and then picking random sets and random reps. I was wondering why I wasn't progressing. My strength would have been going up and down. My body weight would have been going up and down because of the food mistakes and this combined. Absolute disaster. Number 3, not enough rest. So I would typically do a set and then jump into the next one around about 30 to 40 seconds after I just completed that set. Now granted, I was not pushing to failure, but even that is very quick. You know, me jumping from set to set, 30 seconds later, I'm not resting my body enough. I'm still going to be fatigued from the previous set. So again, I was really squandering my potential for each set and each amount of reps, because each exercise I would jump onto, I'd be finished within like a minute or two. I'd fit in like 4 sets into like 2.5 minutes, which realistically, that is nowhere near enough rest time if you actually want to maximise your potential in the gym. If you want to maximise strength gains and muscle gains, you have to be making sure that you take a correct amount of rest time in order to prepare yourself and psych yourself up for the next set. If you want to progress in the gym, you need to take your rest time and you need to use it wisely. Number 4, not training till failure. Now this ties into the last one. As I said, whenever I do a set, it was not intense. There was no intensity, there was no urgency to completing that set. And that is because I was not training to failure. I was training to maybe about 30-40% of what I could actually do. I was not pushing myself to failure, which basically means you're pushing yourself to, you can physically not do another rep. There is no ounce of your body that can push any more to do that last rep. And that is what going to failure means. Now you're meant to fail within a rep range. So let's say you're doing 8 to 12 reps. You want to fail in between that rep range somewhere so that you can progress those reps or progress your weight next week. And your body's going to adapt if you push to failure each set. Now, I was not doing that. I was going through the motions, but I was not pushing anywhere close to failure. I wasn't challenging myself enough, and I just wasn't progressing because of that. Now, in my opinion, most of your sets should be to absolute failure, if not all of your sets. Maybe if you're starting out, take it easy at first. You know, learn the basics, get used to the form, get used to the gym. But after that, once you adapt, you have to be pushing to failure. And I just wasn't. I did squander a bit of my initial gym potential due to this. Number 5, something I still do, skipping leg day. Getting on, I do not skip leg day anymore, but when I started the gym, I did not train legs at all. I used to be a skier, so I had decent amount of muscle in my legs. I actually had more muscle in my legs when I started the gym than I did my upper body. So I just assumed, oh well, you know, I've already got muscle in my legs, so I need to balance out my upper body. I took that way too far. That went on for about a year, and I did not train legs. And then I gradually started to bring legs in, but again, was not pushing to failure on legs because I was too scared. Anyone that trains legs frequently will know that legs is not fun. But I eventually learned to do it. But yes, I did not train legs much. I didn't really care for legs. I wanted a big chest, I wanted big shoulders, I wanted big arms. I did not care for big legs. Now, I see the potential and I see the appeal of having big legs, but back then, I just didn't care for it. So I skipped it. But I would recommend not doing that because it can create an imbalance in your upper body and your lower body. It can create a bit of a distortion between the two. You know, you don't want to have a massive upper body and tiny legs, you know, that's just not what you want. You want to have everything well balanced. You want to have good proportions, good symmetry, and you want to be even throughout your body. Skipping leg day ain't gonna help with that. Last but not least, we're gonna talk about form. Now, this is probably the biggest one, I would say. Probably the main one I would recommend people focusing on when they start at the gym. And if I look back and I would regret anything, it's not having perfect form on every exercise essentially. No, I didn't really focus much on form, caused a few injuries, a few niggles here and there over time, and I just ended up hurting myself quite a lot because I had bad form on a lot of things. Also, I was maybe trying to go a wee bit too heavy, therefore I was ego lifting, and the form kind of just goes out the window when you're ego lifting, because ego lifting essentially stems from not being able to do a certain weight but pushing to the point where you can, and your form's just all over the place. Usually when people are ego lifting, you know, they're swinging, they're cheating their reps, and essentially they're not doing anything. It's just a kind of show off tactic. As I said, they're not doing anything, so that means that your form is going to correct all that. If you've got good form, it means that you're performing the exercise correctly and you're going to stimulate growth in those muscle groups that you want. You're going to feel it more, you're going to connect with the muscle more, but that might come at a cost of you taking a slice of humble pie, dropping the weight a little bit, but you're going to feel it a lot more, you're going to connect with the muscle a lot more, and you're going to progress a lot more if you've got good form. So I would always prioritise form over anything else when it comes to starting the gym. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure to follow me on TikTok and Instagram at TheJack.